Hi, everyone. Welcome. I see we have a few attendees here already. We'll just give it a minute here to let some more people join, and then we'll get started. All right, we'll go ahead and get started here. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Teresa. For those that don't know me, I'm a brand engagement marketing manager here at Volusion. And here at Volusion, we want to ensure that you, our merchants, are receiving that all-in-one e-commerce experience. We want to make sure you have all the tools and support that you need to successfully grow your business. And we're able to do that through partnering with experts like Marketing 360. And we have two subject matter experts here today from Marketing 360 to inform you on how to use the latest AI marketing tools and automation strategies so that you can enhance customer engagement, streamline your operations, and increase your revenue. But before we get started, I just want to go over a couple housekeeping items. Marketing 360 is offering a special promotion to all of you here today who attend the webinar. You can receive $500 off any marketing service with a new account. And if you haven't already received the email from Angela Kirk for registering for this webinar, you'll receive a free website checkup with her to see how your AI search ranking is doing. And if you have any questions, go ahead and submit them throughout the webinar in the Q&A box, and we'll get to them at the very end. We'll answer those live. And then if we have a lot of questions and we're not able to get to them today, we'll send out a full PDF of all the questions with the answers tomorrow in our follow-up, and you'll also get a recording of today's webinar. So we have that as well. Going over the agenda here. We'll go over how AI is transforming e-commerce marketing, AI for email content and ad optimization, some real-world examples and tools, and then we'll also go over common pitfalls and best practices, and then we'll get to the Q&A. So then without further ado, I'll introduce you to Andrew and Tyler. They are experts at Marketing 360. Andrew, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me, Teresa. It's always a pleasure, and welcome everybody. I hope you get a lot out of this today and can take some of this back and kind of apply it to what you're doing right now for your own business.
Thank you. And Tyler, tell us a little bit about what you do for Marketing 360.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, so I'm a lead advertising specialist. So my world is really wrapped up in paid advertising, Google, Facebook, Bing, and various other platforms. And so I'll be speaking to kind of how AI is transforming how we manage your paid advertising in today's world with AI.
Awesome. Well, we're super excited to get started. I will hand it over to you guys.
Okay. I guess I'll get started here. We could talk AI, right? And kind of one thing probably to keep in mind right out of the gate is what AI is and how it applies to kind of what we're doing on e-commerce. What AI does, and for our purposes here, is it takes millions of data points and analyzes them extraordinarily quickly, then gives you kind of a plan, or it's able to use that data and make some predictions on consumer behavior. So what it lets you do is get a little bit ahead of the curve, get a step ahead, and kind of build some marketing campaigns around what you think, not just what these clients are doing, but what you think they're going to do, right? With a really good kind of a really educated kind of hypothesis. So what it's doing for e-com is it's a new operating system for e-commerce growth, right? And some of this has been being used by some of the bigger players for a long time now, but a lot of these tools have become available at a much more affordable kind of package that lets you take advantage of those as well too. So what it kind of does is it represents a fundamental shift from marketing to an audience to creating dynamic, individualized experiences for every single customer automatically and at scale. So things that were seemingly impossible before, just because of the manpower that it would take, AI tools allow you to do that, and the same things that a big company would do as well too, with a huge staff that you might not necessarily have. So it can deliver kind of advantages across three particular pillars. As I mentioned before, what it really can do well is drive sales with predictive power, right? So beyond just analyzing what happened in the past, with your client, with your customers, to actively predicting what's going to happen next, right? This allows you to be proactive instead of reactive, right? Which gives you that kind of advantage in your marketplace. Through predictive analytics, it can identify which customers are most likely to buy, which of those are at risk of churning or leaving, and even predicts what their next likely purchase might be, right? So this enables you to have perfectly timed kind of marketing interventions there, right? And getting in front of them at the right time with the right product. Lets you do dynamic pricing and promotions. You've probably seen these kind of tools for a while doing things like this, where their algorithms can adjust prices and offer promotions in real time based on demand, on what your competitors are doing, and what a specific user's likelihood to convert into a new customer might be, and what the kind of, and to maximize kind of the revenue on each of those different transactions. And then one of my favorite ones is the intelligent cart recovery, right? So AI can help trigger kind of hyper relevant abandoned cart sequences with the precise incentive, right? So free shipping versus 10% off, depending on what it thinks that customer is more likely to respond to, right? To put it to secondary, so it's unlocking true one-to-one personalization, right? Which is really cool too. Far beyond just using a customer's first name and an email, right? We've been doing that for 10, 15 years now, right? AI acts as a personal shopper for every visitor to your site. With deep behavioral analysis, AI can process thousands of data points, right? We talked about that before. Clicks, hover time, past purchases, search queries, for example, just to understand each customer's unique intent and preferences in real time, right? Things that would take, kind of doing a post-mortem and analyzing that data after the fact. This does it real time. And the result is a dynamic storefront, right? So imagine a homepage that reorders its content for you, product recommendations that feel expertly curated for you, and search results that understand what you mean, not just what you type, right? That can be huge as well, too. And then achieving unprecedented efficiency. AI automates the complex and time-consuming tasks that limit your team's ability to focus on strategy and creativity. Things like content and creative automation, you can instantly generate hundreds of unique SEO-friendly product descriptions or test dozens of ad copy variations without any manual effort. And then resource optimization, right? This is all about just getting more efficient and allowing you to grow and scale. So AI manages complex ad bidding and budget allocation across multiple channels 24/7, ensuring your marketing spend is always deployed in the most profitable way possible. Okay, then we got some AI applications, kind of real world here, right? For content, email, and ad optimization. So AI applications are core areas of impact. Artificial intelligence isn't a single solution. It's a powerful engine that supercharges the core pillars of your marketing strategy, right? So first you got email marketing. So what you do what this allows you to do is to move from generic blasts that you get all the time into your inbox that you just kind of ignore, to hyper personalized automated conversations that actually convert and not just take up space in someone's inbox, right? On your website content and your usability, transforming your online store into a smart personal shopper for every visitor, right? And then paid ad optimization, achieving maximum return on ad spend or ROAS through predictive targeting and automated creative.
Awesome, guys. So digging into email and website content, with email, some of the things that you're going to be able to take advantage of going into this new era is predictive send times. And so these new algorithms are really great at understanding how your audience, engages with your emails and when they are most likely to open as well. And so, especially as you continue to engage with your audience and send more emails and build your list higher, the more that it'll be able to improve its ability to predict, when to appropriately send to target that best open time for you. And so, it'll be really great optimizing for more open rates and of course click-through rates at the end of the day. So awesome. And then AI generated subject lines and copy. This is really great for A/B testing. It's going to get really great at just kind of optimizing according to what drives the best open rates as well. And it allows you to kind of test multiple variations, anywhere from 2 to dozens. And so you can get really creative with your ad copy as well in that sense. Next, you have dynamic content blocks. So think of this as like dynamic remarketing, except within emails. So, if your clients are engaging with specific products, your email marketing will be great at kind of re-engaging them with those specific products or related products. And so it'll be really awesome at personalizing the experience for your customer that way. With website content and user experience, you're going to have smarter product recommendations on the website itself. And so again, very dynamic to how your, user engages with your website. And so, especially for those who kind of come to the site, and kind of do a little bit of window shopping and browsing different products, the more they engage, the more that, it'll become a personalized experience, eventually leading them, of course, to add to the cart and click that buy button for you. So, AI generated product descriptions. This is going to be really great, at helping you optimize for both SEO friendly, but also striking that balance with enticing copy as well to ensure that your products, main, selling points are being communicated as well. And then lastly, of course, you'll have AI powered site search. And so instead of somebody, just, typing and get like a mix of closely rated products, user intent's going to be a lot easier to understand with these algorithms now. And so it'll be really great at understanding, who's high intent and what products are most likely related to what they're searching for. Thus, again, personalizing experience and, improving the overall user experience for you. Awesome. And then dumping into paid advertising. And so this is really great. It's getting better with time. When I first started, in this field 10 years ago, it was very manual bidding. We had to be, very on top of guessing, up and down with product bidding, paid advertising bidding. Nowadays, that manual work is very much being automated through these algorithms. And so, you'll have automated audience targeting. And so, two really great options for that are Google Performance Max and then Meta Advantage Plus. And so, what these two do is, really great at just kind of identifying what products and are best for a particular audience, or vice versa, which audience is best related to your ads and whatnot. And so, that kind of leads into dynamic creative optimization as well. And so think of this as, you kind of just provide the main things that you do, right? Your images, your videos, your headlines, your descriptions. From there, it takes it and it displays all of those creative assets and ad copy according to, what's going to convert best. And so it'll kind of identify which placements and, drive the best engagement. And of course, the highest likely to buy from your customer. And then, of course, predictive bidding and budget allocation. So kind of like I was speaking to, it understands when to bid up and when to bid down. The name of the game with this is just spending as efficiently as possible. You get more bang for your buck when these algorithms can recognize when it's appropriate to change your bidding strategy according to, getting the best return on your investment. And then, of course, with AI e-commerce, so you have predictive analytics. And so this is really great at identifying which customers are most likely to buy, which are risk of churning, and even their products that they're most likely to purchase. And so this gives you great data to just adjust your marketing interventions accordingly. And then, of course, dynamic pricing and promotions. You can set this up to have a set of different prices and promotions that you're okay with allowing it to operate with, and then from there it'll do the rest. It'll be very dynamic according to what they think is going to be most appropriate to drive the sell for you. And then, of course, intelligent cart recovery. We're always going to have people who abandon their cart. This is really great. It drives hyper relevant. Excuse me, guys, I'm fighting a cold here. Hyper relevant embedded cart sequences with precise incentive. And so whether it's free shipping, 10% off, whatever promotions that you want to put in there for it to work with, it'll take it and deliver it according to what performs best for you.
Thanks. Yeah, and I think when we think about it's a lot of content we covered pretty quickly. When you think about and you kind of break it down to make it simple, what AI will do for you is it'll analyze, right? We talked about it'll analyze all the different data points at one time. It will make a prediction based on that, right? Based on a kind of an educated assumption based on that analysis. Then it will test. It will create A/B test for you, which is critical for any kind of marketing campaigns, and then it'll target, right? So if you thought about analyze, predict, test, then target, and it'll keep running in that cycle until it gets smarter and smarter and smarter the more you use it, especially if you have your own kind of account, whether you're using ChatGPT or Gemini or something like that. When you have a corporate account set up that way too, it gets to know you better, right? And it gets to know your clients better as well. It holds on to that data too. So the more that you analyze, predict, test, and target, the more effective those get over time too. And some of the kind of common pitfalls and challenges that you might run into with AI, and there's like anything else, right? There's ways to use it correctly, and there's ways to use it incorrectly, right? And you could waste a lot of time and money if you don't kind of watch out and make sure you're doing the best practices, right? So some of the common pitfalls to avoid is the garbage in, garbage out, right? AI only works as well as you prompt it, right? So if you've done queries in ChatGPT and messed around with that, you'll see the better your queries are, The more kind of filled out and specific those are, the better your answers are going to be, right? So it works the same way, right? So you want to make sure that you're giving as much of a complete kind of query as you possibly can, as much complete data as you possibly can. You want to make sure you're tracking it set up correctly, make sure it's collecting all the necessary information that you need to get, or the results are going to be poor, right? So what you're going to kind of get out of it, what you put into it. The set it and forget it trap, and this Tyler's had a lot of experiences with, looking through people's ad accounts and things like that, is relying 100% on automation without any human oversight, right? AI does not take the place of humans, luckily for us, or this would be AI guys doing this webinar here too, right? There is some necessary human interaction, right? It makes your job more efficient and allows you to do more with the time that you have, but it's still necessary that there is some human oversight too, right? It can optimize the wrong metric or drift from brand guidelines if you're not paying attention, right? So it's smart, but it's not as smart as you are. So ignoring the customer privacy too, using personalization in a way that feels invasive or creepy, like trust is paramount here. So there, the old saying, like, just because you can doesn't mean you should. So you might be able to get some data points from it that you necessarily shouldn't let that customer know that you're aware of. So be clear, be careful about coming across as creepy or invasive, or anything where you're not relevant even to what you're really doing. It wouldn't be effective anyways, and would have kind of an opposite effect and possibly turn that customer off. Right. And then the black box problem, right? Not understanding why the AI is making certain decisions, making it impossible to learn or provide strategic feedback, right? So it's important that you kind of, again, as while it's going through all these processes, that you're on top of this and watching it and kind of making sure that this is doing what you want it to do. And if not, you have to make some adjustments on your end as well. So some of those best practices for success, right? Prioritize the high quality data. Ensure your product feeds are clean and your tracking pixels, your Metapixel, your Google Analytics, are correctly installed and sending that rich data to AI, right? It needs this, right? It needs this. Again, we don't want the garbage in and garbage out. We want the good quality data in and good results coming out the back end. Using AI as a co-pilot, right? Let AI handle the heavy lifting, the bidding, we're talking about paid search, the bidding, the mass scale testing, while you provide the strategic direction, create a vision, and final approval. Again, right? You can't just set it and forget it. Like, use it for what it's supposed to do that work for you that you couldn't possibly do, that those number of calculations that it has to make, but make sure the end product is what you want before you send it out to anybody else. Be transparent and ethical, right? Be clear about your data usage policies. Use AI to create helpful, relevant experiences, not to just aggressively track user, right? Again, there are diminishing returns, right? There can be if the customer feels like you know too much and you're not using that data properly, right? And if you're over serving it too, okay? And then measure what matters, right? This goes back to the analysis portion of this, to focus on core business KPIs like profit, customer lifetime value, and ROAS, not just a surface level metrics the AI platform prioritizes, right? So again, it's going to spit out all the data that it thinks that you want, but when you as you continue to optimize your queries and let it know, hey, this is what I want and this is what I don't, you'll get more of that data on the stuff that you really need to see, as opposed to a lot of stuff that doesn't really matter to you anyways.
Awesome, guys. We're going to jump into some real world examples for you. And so some examples of content in e-commerce that you'll see in time right now is Amazon, of course. They're getting better at using collaborative filtering. Customers who brought this also brought that. You'll see that a lot, obviously, in Amazon, but it's getting a lot more targeted and predictive with predictive analytics. And so 35% of Amazon's total revenue is actually generated by this AI-powered engine. So that's one example. In addition, like we were saying, before, you'll see Netflix, over 80% of its content is watched based on what's discovered through AI-driven recommendations. And so, you'll see a lot of that through content personalization on all platforms and websites as we move forward here. And then, of course, there's chatbots. One example is Gwen. It's a great conversation-based AI chatbot. Does a great job at just answering questions, helping close sales, answering any particular concerns and things like that. So you can really customize these chatbots to really serve your brand and provide a good customer experience on the website as well. Awesome. Some additional tools. You have Georges, and so it starts at $10 a month. It's a really great, customer service help desk, if you will. Similar to that last tool I was speaking to. It's really great for e-commerce specifically. It just really helps answer any questions that customers might have as they're, considering the buy. And then, of course, with paid advertising, as I was speaking to, Meta Advantage Plus, and then of course Google Performance Max. If you're looking to just get started with, paid advertising, these are two really great places to start. They're easy to set up and can really be great at, employing these AI powered targeting tactics that we were speaking to here. And then lastly, you have Marketing 360, of course. We just launched Content Marketing Pro. So it's an AI assisted, curated automated content plans, but it's also, human assisted as well. So if you want a healthy balance of human and AI, this is a really great product as well to generate both website content and social posts for your business.
Awesome. That was great information, you guys. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, of
Of
course.
course.
We are moving into our Q&A portion. If anyone had any questions, please submit those now. Let's take a look if we have any. Let's see. Here's one. When it comes to automating creative and ad optimization, how can we ensure that our brand voice and authenticity aren't lost in the process?
Yeah, great question. And so one thing that you have to be careful with, especially if you're using like large language models, ChatGPT, Gemini, etc., is it can hallucinate. And so some things that you can do to predict hallucination, or not predict, prevent hallucination, is you can use various frameworks. One really simple one that you guys can start with is called the ACE framework. It's called action, context, and example. What you can do with that is provide a specific action that you wanted to, execute for you, provide the context, and that's where the brand information is going to be very important. And so you can upload directly into the chatbot as well, documents that speak to your brand, your colors, your logo, all of that, so that the AI actually knows what it's talking about and doesn't necessarily go off on a separate trail. And so providing as much information as possible up front and ensures better quality.
That's awesome. We have another one here. You mentioned AI's ability to predict customer behavior. How accurate would you say these predictions are?
I mean, that would probably work on a kind of case by case basis, but I think that they're getting better and better all the time. And I think it's like anything else, the more data it has, the better it gets. But if you have kind of, and you mentioned kind of some of the different things that it looks at, if you just take Amazon, for example, right, which is a good one because it has so much data, but it'll look at not just what you have in your cart or what you kind of abandon your cart, but your actual whole order history, your browsing history, things like that. So it can get as specific again, like these tools work, the more data it has, the more specific it can get. So the more data that we're collecting, the better it's going to get at saying what it thinks the next move is going to be. Is it going to be 100%? No, but it's going to get better and better. If it's a returning customer, the more often that customer comes back, it's going to get even better at that as well too.
Yeah, yeah, and if I can add to that too, like think of it with the rule of seven, right? It's kind of common knowledge with marketing is that if they have to see it 7 times before they even get to a point that they're ready for the buying decision. And so if you think about that, that can tell you that you can, the more that you have more returning visitors, the more dialed in that those algorithms will get for you.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you. We have another one here. It says, when we create products on the back end of Illusion, we add keywords, meta descriptions, etc. Should we change how we're doing that for AI purposes? Like, for example, putting in questions instead of keywords?
I would still, I mean, I think that remains the same. Content is always going to be king for SEO, whether it's for AI or not. AI will do kind of pick up on some different things as well too, but I think you always want to have the kind of those best practice for your products, right? You want to have the correct meta description with the name of your organization, and then as close to a product description as you can get, and then building the content on that to make sure that name of that product is descriptive, then have a good kind of good content around that as well. But if you added things, like if you had things on your site that were like AI chatbots and stuff like that, it can help. AI will pick up on those more natural conversations as well too. So the more content you have, always the better. Your product description, and Tyler might have known more about this than me, but I think the product descriptions probably haven't changed much. But the more kind of content you can have on the site besides those relating to those, especially you link back, and if you did like a blog article and you link back those specific products, those things that have always been best practice for SEO are all going to help kind of your AI kind of results as well too.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Especially on the shopping network with Google. they still need you to be keyword relevant. And so, yeah, still use keywords. But you know, the great thing with AI is that you can strike a healthy balance of being keyword relevant while again still creating enticing copy for your product restrictions as well.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna do a plug here for the promotions that Marketing 360 is running. But we do have room for one more question if anyone has something in the next minute or so. But just a reminder that Marketing 360 is offering that $500 marketing credit for any new account. So be sure to jump on that. And also, just for registering for this webinar today, you'll receive an email from our client growth specialist, Angela Kirk, and she'll be reaching out to schedule a website checkup with you where she can go over a couple different things, but also kind of look at how you're optimizing your website and also just like where you could use AI and how Marketing 360 could help you with that as well. There's a QR code here if you'd like to go ahead and schedule that right now. And then also, I'll send out more information tomorrow along with this recording. And I'll also be sending out the deck because I know the deck had like a lot of great information on it. It was very content heavy this time. And we did that on purpose because we did want to go ahead and save that deck and send that out to you tomorrow. So keep a lookout for that. And just double checking here, I don't think that we had any more questions. But thank you so much, Andrew and Tyler, for joining us today and hosting today's webinar. That was incredible information. And hopefully we'll see you on the next webinar.
Thank you, Teresa. Hopefully so. We look forward.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Take
Thanks.
care.
Bye.